Good afternoon, guys. It is my privilege to present to you this afternoon the life, career, and works of one of the significant figure during the Philippines' golden period of Spanish literature, the Prince of Philippine lyric poetry in Spanish, Fernando Maria Guerrero. Fernando Maria Guerrero was born in Ermita, Manila on May 13, 1873 and was raised in a Spanish-speaking family. His parents were Lorenzo Guerrero, a notable painter and art teacher, and Clemencia Ramirez, who had a natural inclination for music. Upon his death on June 12, 1929, at the age of 56, the Philippines lost a national poet, distinguished writer, journalist. Nevertheless, he left an unforgettable legacy, poems he wrote in Spanish language, proving to the whole world that a Filipino can also write skillfully in a foreign language. A school in Malate, Manila was named after him in his honor. He married his first wife, Carmen Estrada, and had 2 children. He was married again to a second wife, Remedios Intrala, and had 9 children. He spoke 5 languages, Filipino, English, Spanish, Latin, and Greek, and he was a politician, journalist, lawyer, and a polyglot. He obtained his Bachelor of Arts degree from the Ateneo Municipal de Manila and his Bachelor of Laws degree at the University of Santo Tomas. At a young age, he showed signs of a genius with facility of language, music, and painting, and began writing literature. It was clear that his literary talent and artistic fondness were inherited from his parents. Accordingly, he also played piano and flute and was good at drawing beautiful pictures of nature. He appreciated native condiments, and yet he was a great lover of classical music. Most of his paintings were landscapes, sunsets, and dawns. He wrote journals during the years 1898 to 1900s. His love for literature knew no bounds. He wrote both prose and poetry. His favorite theme was eternal sadness of things. He believes in purifying nature, wrapping her in a garment of beauty to cover her deformities. True and supreme art is the most common perfect interpretation of the aesthetic emotion. In Spanish lyric poetry, he was unsurpassed by his contemporaries. His poetry sparkled with different color tones. Sometimes it was musical, like a tropical love song, a classically grand, tinged with melancholia, and sometimes it was stirring with heroic grandeur, a combination of realism and idealism. He was considered the poet of the Revolution, a prolific writer who wrote not only sentimental poems but also historical essays, short stories, and editorials. He served as the chairman of the Board of Study at the law school La Jurisprudencia, or the Jurisprudence. He also became a counselor in Manila for several years, Secretary of the Senate, and Secretary of the Philippine Independence Commission. He was also a director of the Academia de Leyes, or Academy of Regulation. He was an elected member of the First Philippine Assembly representing Manila's 2nd District in 1907, who authored the first labor bills in the Philippines, ensuring workmen's compensation and the right of the employees to form labor unions. Leader of the Municipal Board of Manila, Guerrero became a correspondent to the Royal Academy of Spanish Language in Madrid. As a lawyer, he taught natural law, criminology, and forensic oratory. He was also a member of Academia Filipina, or Philippine Academy. During the Revolution, he used his pen to fight for his countrymen. He was recruited by General Antonio Luna to serve as contributor and editor for newspaper La Independencia, together with Rafael Palma and Epifanio de los Santos. During the early years of the American occupation, he would be reunited with Rafael Palma at El Renacimiento, or the Rebirth, a Spanish-language daily. In a few years, he would transition from the position of editor to director. Under Guerrero's leadership as its director, El Renacimiento would become the most influential and powerful paper in the Philippines, exposing and speaking against the oppression and brutality of the constabulary. He was also the editor at La Vanguardia, the Outer Works, and La Opinion, the Opinion. He also wrote for La Patria and established his paper La Fraternidad. He was also one of the writers of El Nueva Diaria Serie Osmeña newspaper in Cebu and Cultura Filipina in Manila. For his works, in 1914, he published his first poetry compilation, Chrysalidas, containing 70 compositions and was considered one of the 10 best books of the Philippines by Encyclopedia Filipinas. Aves y Flores, or Birds and Flowers, his second anthology of poems, was posthumously, or after a person's death, according to Cambridge Dictionary, published in 1971, including 143 compositions. However, as he stated in his autobiography, it was lack of patience nor solitude to compile them that most of his works remain unpublished. He was above all national poet. He felt and thought as a Filipino, lived as a Filipino, and died as a Filipino. Furthermore, his poems dealt mostly with patriotism. This was evident in Mi Patria from Crisalidas, and considered his most famous poem as an expression of his devotion to the country. And before I end my presentation, allow me to leave with you a reminder from Guerrero himself. A literature written in English or Spanish, as long as it expresses true Filipino feelings and thoughts, it is true Filipino literature. And that is the life and works of Fernando Maria Guerrero, a significant figure during the Philippines' golden period of Spanish literature. I hope that you learned something. Thank you and have a blessed afternoon.